Remember these sentiments by Wasidishu women representative?
Even if they are our children, they are not permitted to destroy people's properties or to burn down the government property, vehicles, police stations, courthouses. And I must say, shame on you, Chief Justice Maraga. You're currently on pension paid by the government. They pay for your cars, they pay for your gardener, they pay for your cook, and then you go to the streets to demonstrate and mislead our children, to destroy people's properties. Shame on you, Chief Justice Maraga.
But what does the law say about the send-off package for those who have finished their term limits in serving a public position or have retired? Constitutional lawyer Gibson Gisore explains.
The Constitution is very clear on issues of discrimination, on issues of what the state can do and what the state can't do. And among the things the state can't do is to stop somebody's salary, somebody's pension, because that is their sweat. And these are provided under the Constitution because what the former Chief Justice is entitled to is courtesy of the service he gave to the state. And it's because of that service he's entitled to that right. The state does not have such rights to take away such packages, such benefits whatsoever. But when you have a state which feels entitled to do that which they deem fit, then you get to have situations like this because of the feeling that whatever the Chief Justice is or whoever is associating with are people who are not in the right books with the state. Then you get to find that the state feels like they have a right to withhold the package, and as such, it's not only in Kenya, it happens. I think there's a very big situation down in Zambia where we having a former president who is now dead in another country, but his dying wish or declaration, as the family says, because we were not there, was that the sitting president should be nowhere near his burial. And for that reason, he cannot be able to receive a state burial, which goes against the law, because the law demands that a former president should be able to, burial should be conducted by the state, and it should be a state burial. So that puts the government in a very awkward situation. So we have seen other scenarios where former president, like in DRC, the former president has been living in South Africa, then he comes back, and then we have seen that a situation whereby they have started terrorism charges, some other charges of associating with purportedly with the wrong crowd, and now they want to prosecute him. The warrants are out. They should be able to arrest him on site as soon as they see him. So such things are experienced in this region. Not only in this region, even in other places. I think even in the Asia, there are examples there. Like in Pakistan, a president leaves, then he finds himself in prison. Same to Philippines. What we have not seen happen is in the West, whereby their democracy is a bit mature. The democracy is well established, and that cannot be allowed. But we have seen even former presidents and prime ministers being prosecuted, especially in France. I think there's an incident in France where we saw the former president Sarkozy being prosecuted for corruption, which is separate because corruption is a crime. But now that is extended in our region, that is extended to even benefits and situations like the one we are talking about for the former president, which is quite unfortunate. All we wish is that let the state respect the rights of the people and be able to follow the law accordingly. There is no guarantee, there's no express provision of the law which says, in any case, even if it were to be there, that would be criminal, because it's the Constitution, because that amounts to discrimination. And the Constitution is against discrimination. So any other law which might be formed thereafter, which says otherwise, becomes null and void against the law. So unless the Constitution is amended, and by amending that particular clause, it's an omnibus clause which talks about race and all those other things which I've mentioned earlier. So by removing a specific word there, it brings a lot of problems because it will be able to affect the setting and the structure of the constitution as it were. So it's very important that as Kenyans, we are alive to the situations which are bedeviling us, and as Kenyans, we are well informed of the constitution, so that we don't get to have the state exercise some powers which are unconstitutional and get to affect. But it's my belief and hope that there are remedies, because the Constitution provides remedies in case of such situations. The former Chief Justice can actually file a case in court to compel the state to actually remit his benefits and his pension and all the other things he's entitled to, or entitled to his office. That is bound to happen. You see, the state power, what the problem is power. The person enjoying power is the person who feels threatened and feels like if that power is taken away by anybody who even declares, it's already trying to come for his power. So what there is that he will never be in any good books with the state at no point. In any case, that does not help him by being in good books with the government. So I think this might go on for some time. This might go on for some time. As long as he's on the ballot, he will be able to, or has declared his interest to be in the ballot, he'll continue enjoying, for the lack of a better word, enjoying these mistreatments. And the only other thing is that he can only maybe have Kenyans on his side to always shout and say that that is wrong. Other than that, also he has the benefit of going to court to enforce his rights. So once he can be able to exercise any of those rights, whichever way he deems, or he has the option of letting it lie and wait for the time till he's president, then he will claim his benefits all together in lump sum. So he has options. The beauty is that our law also allows for him to have such options. And if you go to court, of course, you even compel the state to pay you for the harm they have caused. They pay you what you are entitled to, and then they pay for the harm in terms of costs and such things. The major problem, ile shida iko ni kwamba kiburi imeingia watu kwa kichwa, and that's what I was explaining, that power has made people to be drunk to a level that they feel they can do whatever it is that they deem fit. Whoever threatens their power, they want to deal with them conclusively, but in whichever manner, I don't think there's anything called conclusive, because our law allows for checks and balances. So whatever process they might want to do, there are also legal processes to check the same. And that's what I've said, by going to court is the other alternative the CJ can be able to use, or the other one is to also have Kenyans to rally Kenyans and to be able to stand with you and say, no, this cannot happen. That would compel the state to actually do the right thing. It's not right. It's not right. And you see, some of these laws, even when they were being passed in the former parliament, there was a lot of heat and tension, and there were even demonstrations to the effect that the kind of clauses which were being put there were to be worse if that particular bill could have passed the way it was. So to some extent, the then government, Uhuru Kenyatta's government, had to back down and remove some clauses, quite a number of clauses. I remember it was around 17 or 18 clauses. And then now it was taken back to Parliament for relooking at, and when it was relooked at, and then the president ascended for it to become law. But nonetheless, as a legal practitioner, from where I sit, I still felt that there were still some clauses which ought to have been removed further or be looked at, because some of them were vague. When you leave a vague clause in the law, it gives room for people to abuse it, and that is exactly what you guys see.